Hi everyone and welcome back to Clark Trending. Okay, I need you to sit down for this one, because what happened last night isn't just a highlight. It's a before and after moment for this league. Caitlin Clark just broke another WNBA record, and the reaction from one of the greatest players to ever lace up sneakers has completely changed the conversation. We're talking about Sue Bird. Sue Bird, going off publicly after Diana Taurasi praised Clark. And I'm going to tell you exactly what she said, why she said it now, and what it means for every single person involved. If you love Caitlin Clark, drop CC 100% love in the comments right now. And please, stay until the end because the last part of this story is the part nobody else is covering. Real quick, if you're one of the 90% watching who haven't subscribed yet, just tap that button. It's free, it takes 1 second, and it helps us keep bringing you these deep dives. Alright, let's get into it. So here's what happened. Last night against the Seattle Storm, Caitlin Clark posted 34 points, 13 assists, and 7 rebounds. The 13 assists gave her the single-season assist record for a guard in WNBA history, passing Courtney Vandersloot's mark from 2020. She did it in fewer games. She did it while leading the league in scoring. And she did it in a building that was, let's be honest, half full of people wearing her jersey even though it was an away game. When the record flashed on the Jumbotron, the road crowd gave her a standing ovation. Think about that. An opponent's arena stood up for her. Now let's rewind for a second, because the record itself isn't the story. The story started about 3 hours later when Diana Taurasi, the all-time leading scorer in WNBA history, the player who once said on national television that Clark would need to adjust to the physicality of the pros, posted a video on her Instagram. No filter, no PR team. Just Taurasi sitting in what looked like her living room saying, and I quote, "I mean, what else do you want me to say? She's doing things I've never seen. The passing, the range, the way she controls a game without even scoring? That's not rookie stuff anymore. That's all-time stuff. I said what I said back then, and I'd say it again, but, she answered every single question. Everyone." That clip went viral within an hour. 16 million views before midnight. And the reason it hit so hard is because of the history. Remember, Taurasi's original comments in 2024, "Reality is coming," became the most polarizing quote of that entire draft cycle. It split fans into camps. So for her to come out this directly, this voluntarily, with that much warmth, it landed like a thunderclap. But here's where things get even more interesting. Because Sue Bird, Taurasi's longtime teammate and close friend, was on a live podcast recording when someone played her the clip. And Bird's reaction was immediate and, honestly, kind of raw. She said, No, see, this is what bothers me. Diana is being gracious, and she should be. Caitlin has earned every bit of it. But I just want people to understand that what Diana built, what our generation built, is the reason Caitlin has a stage to break records on. You can celebrate the new without treating the past like it was just a rough draft. That's all I'm saying. Now let me tell you what she didn't say. She didn't say Taurasi was wrong. She didn't say Clark doesn't deserve it. She didn't criticize the record or diminish the performance. What she did was draw a circle around legacy, her generation's legacy, and she said don't forget us while you're building statues for what comes next. And if you watched her face while she said it, the jaw was tight, the eyes were locked on the interviewer, and there was a pause right before. That's all I'm saying. That lasted about 2 full seconds. That pause told you everything. It told you this isn't casual for her. This is personal. And that brings us to the real heart of this. So let me shift gears and really break down what's happening beneath the surface here. This isn't about one record. This is about a generational transfer of authority that is happening in real time, in public, and not everyone is handling it the same way. Taurasi's praise was genuine. I believe that completely. But it also functions as something else. It's a coronation from the old guard. And coronations only happen when the old guard accepts that the throne has moved. Bird saw that. Bird understood intuitively that once Taurasi says, "All time," publicly and voluntarily, a door closes. The debate about whether Clark belongs in the conversation is over. The only remaining debate is where she ranks. And Bird's discomfort isn't jealousy. It's grief. It's the grief of watching your era become context instead of the headline. Now here's what nobody is connecting. 3 weeks ago, ESPN released its updated WNBA all-time impact rankings, and for the first time included an active trajectory metric that projected Clark's career arc against historical benchmarks. Bird and Taurasi were both listed, but in a subsection labeled Established Legacy. Clark was in the section labeled Ascending. The language itself tells you where the institutional energy is flowing. And if you connect those dots to last night, Taurasi's praise reads like someone who saw that ranking and decided she'd rather be the one handing over the torch than having it taken from her. That's not cynical. That's intelligent. That's a legend understanding the moment. Some people might say Bird is overreacting, that celebrating Clark doesn't erase anyone. And on the surface, sure, that's logical. But here's why that doesn't hold up in practice. Attention is finite. Broadcast minutes are finite. Sponsorship dollars flow toward the future, not the past. When Nike redesigned its WNBA campaign this season, count how many times Bird or Taurasi appeared versus Clark. That's not a commentary on respect. That's a resource allocation decision. And Bird, who spent 20 years as the face of this league's credibility, can feel the concrete shifting under her feet even if no one is saying it out loud. So where does this go? I see 3 paths. First, this becomes a one-day story. Bird's comments get absorbed, everyone moves on, and the record stands alone. I give that about a 20% chance because the clip is already too viral. Second, Bird clarifies or walks it back with a softer statement in the next 48 hours, framing it as a "oh, things can be true" message. That's the most likely outcome, maybe 50%, because Bird is too media savvy to let a raw moment define the narrative. But the third path, and this is the one I'm watching, is that other retired players start echoing Bird's sentiment publicly. Because if this becomes a chorus instead of a solo, it stops being about Sue Bird's feelings and starts being a genuine reckoning about how this league honors its past while sprinting toward its future. I give that a 30% chance, and if it happens, it becomes the defining subplot of the rest of this season. The key domino? Watch Breanna Stewart. She's the bridge, played with Bird's generation, competing directly against Clark's. If Stewart speaks on this, and which side of the line she stands on, that's the moment the conversation becomes permanent. Alright, before we wrap up, if this breakdown gave you something you didn't hear anywhere else, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. We go deep on this channel because you deserve more than headlines. So here's where we are. Caitlin Clark broke a record. Diana Taurasi called it all-time greatness. Sue Bird reminded everyone that greatness doesn't start with the person holding the trophy right now. And somewhere in between those 3 positions is the truth about what this league is becoming, a place big enough for the future and the past, or a place where one has to make room for the other. The record is in the book. The praise is on camera. The tension is in the air. And the only question left is whether this league can hold all of it at once, or whether something has to break first. I'll see you in the next one.